Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Well, good evening. Chief Meteorologist Candace King with you here. We are at Haunted Pines on Rural in Rockford. We're going to talk a little more about that and why I'm dressed like toast. I promise it's going to make much more sense here a little later. But let's talk about temperatures, because what has not necessarily made sense, the warmer temperatures over the last couple of days. Yesterday we were in the low 80s. Today those numbers tapped out into the mid and upper 70s. 76 our current temperature in Rockford, 77 in Rochelle, down to 66 in Freeport, as we've got a couple of showers that are trying to work in, along with an increase in cloud cover. You can see the increase in showers and thunderstorms there off to the northwest. Those will gradually work in our direction here as we go through the night tonight. Now I've got the timing of some thunderstorm chances later tonight and a cooler forecast ahead for Halloween. Find out if you'll need those heavier jackets. All in the First Warn forecast a little later.
Right now, police investigating after a fatal hit and run, the overnight accident with no suspects identified. More voters saying politics are a source of stress. What experts say you can do to ease election anxiety. And new numbers released for Illinois public schools, a report card data showing mixed results for the state line.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, everyone. We thank you for being here. Mimi has this night off. Tonight, Rockford police are investigating after a fatal overnight hit and run. Around 12:15 this morning, police received a call for a 49-year-old woman lying in the yard of a home on Charles Street near the intersection with 15th. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Police did find debris from a vehicle nearby. The names of any potential suspects, though, have not been released. We are on top of this story, and we'll bring you more details as soon as we get them. Election Day is Tuesday, but today Winnebago County tested voting tabulators that will be used on November 5th. Tabulators scan and count the paper ballots cast by voters. Today's testing was open to the public, which is required by Illinois law. County officials say these machines have been in use for multiple election cycles with no issues. They tell us they also have plans for many backups in case of problems on Election Day.
Vote on paper. So we always have a backup and a way to validate the information that we're getting on the tabulators. People who are voting early, that are voting by mail, those tabulators will not be closed until 7 p.m. on election night. So there's no way that we know what any of the results are until the rest of the public knows at the same time.
That's the Winnebago County Clerk, Lori Gomo. She added voting machines are also tested after every election to ensure all votes were counted properly. Studies are showing that more of us are stressed. The reporting of politics is a source of anxiety for us. Our own Blake Dietz spoke with voters and mental health experts today. So Blake, what can we do to ease this election anxiety?
Yeah, Wendell, experts say one of the most impactful things you can do is to simply keep an open mind. Those political concerns have increasingly affected Americans' well-being. 69% of U.S. adults reported the upcoming presidential election as a cause of significant stress. That's according to a poll, or a survey rather, by the American Psychological Association. That's up from 52% in 2016. Rockfordian Jason Bradford voted today at Rock Valley College, and he says a common ground needs to be found to ease that political angst.
You got to realize that we're not just this party or that party, that we're human first. And we just got to treat everybody with respect and give everybody that respect and try to coexist and make this world as best as we can.
More from early voters as they get ready to cast their ballots, as well as tips from those mental health experts on how to soothe the stress. That's coming up at 6. Wendell.
Blake, thank you. Plans for a new Roscoe hospital have been pushed back. The Illinois Health Facilities and Services Review Board rejected the plans for NorthPoint Neighborhood Hospital. The proposal is to expand the wellness center there on Rockton Road into a 10-bed hospital with an ER. Those plans would cost around $20 million. The plans did not get the required 6 votes from the board. The Beloit Health System says, though, it will strengthen its application and listen to more community feedback. Then the proposal will be back in front of the board in January. Today, Illinois released the 2024 report card for all public schools, new data for all schools in the state. And in the state line, chronic absenteeism is up in most districts since 2019. That includes Rockford Public Schools, Belvedere, Harlem, and Freeport. Now, Rockford schools have a chronic absentee rate 20% higher than the state average, but the good news is graduation rates are up across the state line. RPS saw nearly an 8% increase in the last 5 years, with more students graduating high school with college credits.
56% of our graduates are leaving with some kind of college credit or advanced placement coursework. So not only are we growing the graduation rate, but we are really seeing significant improvements in the rigor and the readiness of our students. We know we have a long way to go. We want to see all of our students leave with college credit and or a career certification.
Statewide, the graduation rate is at 88%. That is an all-time high. More than 700 nominees have been announced for the Golden Apple Awards. They were selected from more than 1,400 nominations of pre-K through 5th grade teachers in Winnebago County and Boone counties. This is fall video you're seeing now, but she was very happy. The ceremony to honor nominees will be held November 13th at Rockford University. Then 20 finalists will be selected before 5 teachers will be honored with the award in April. You can find a full list of nominees on our website, mystateline.com. Halloween is tomorrow, but some folks are already prepping for Christmas. Today, Rockford officials unveiled the city's plans for this year's Stroll on State. You got to plan for it, right? This year will be the 12th annual Downtown Winter Festival in Rockford. All the favorite activities will be back, including the tree lighting and a surprise visit from Santa and his reindeer. New this year, a drone show after the tree lighting. Over 200 drones. Over 200 drones will light up the sky with Rockford and Christmas symbols, all set to music. So many moving parts there. The city says they're always looking for more volunteers.
We do also always need more volunteers, whether it be people helping with horse and wagons or whether it be people showing up to the workshop, helping us in the morning to decorate, or the favorite shift, tear down at the end of the night. We are always looking for people. You can go to strollonstate.com and find all of that information.
This year's Stroll on State will be on Saturday, November 30th. After the break, new data from the Commerce Department shows the economy is heading in the right direction. What this could mean for the election with just 6 days until Tuesday. And coming up at 6, the annual celebration for a local nonprofit, how it plans to continue to support the community after more than 40 years of service.
And temperatures not quite as warm as what they were yesterday, but still well above our average of the mid-50s we should be at here for late October. We do have some showers and thunderstorms to time out not only for this evening but through the overnight. So look at when to expect those and what we can expect going into Halloween and the rest of the week, all in the First Warn forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
A positive new report from the Commerce Department out today showing the U.S. economy grew by 2.8% this summer. Experts say that shows the economy is heading in the right direction. Rena Roy has the latest.
One of the last major reports before the presidential election shows positive signs for the U.S. economy. Commerce Department data shows the economy grew at a healthy 2.8% annual rate from July through September. The gross domestic product, which is the economy's total output of goods and services, did slow slightly from its 3% growth rate in the previous quarter, but this marks 2.5 years of consecutive growth. The U.S. economy bypassing fears of a recession. The report pointing to consumer spending driving growth despite still high interest rates and the high cost of housing. Companies are also not laying off as much as had previously been expected.
Still a solid pace. Strong consumer spending drove most of that growth. Still, economists are betting the Federal Reserve will lower interest rates by 0.25 percentage point at next week's meeting.
Inflation is also moving in the right direction, with the annual rate at 2.2%, the lowest level in 3 years. According to recent ABC News Ipsos polling, 90% of registered voters say the economy is highly important to them, with 48% trusting former President Trump to handle the economy and 40% trusting Vice President Harris.
I can barely afford gas. Groceries are really, really expensive. So whatever he's going to, I think he's going to be good for the economy.
I think that the administration's done a pretty good job in keeping us out of a recession.
Despite the continued progress on inflation, average prices are still much higher than pre-pandemic levels, which has weighed on many Americans and posed a challenge to Harris in her race against Trump. But many economists have suggested that Trump's policy proposals would worsen inflation. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Back here in the state line, some areas got some much-needed rain, and more storms could be on the way tonight. Candace will tell us more in her forecast. But before we go to break, here's a look at some Halloween displays from around the state line.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it is getting to be spooky time, and we are here at Haunted Pines on Rural. You know, we asked over the last couple of weeks for you folks to send in some wonderful Halloween decorations, and thank you so much. We received quite a few, but I've got some interesting things to show you. So come and walk with me as we walk up the drive. So 500 trick-or-treaters coming here tomorrow night, kind of spooked out just a little bit as they walk up the drive. We've got a scary pumpkin getting ready to go into the grave site as we continue up the driveway. You've got Haunted Pines Graveyard. Now, take notice, no parents are beyond this point, passing this point, so all parents have to go back as the trick-or-treat. There's something around here. What is this? It is a Jordan! Look at that! Now, see, it makes so much more sense, right? Come on over here, Jordan. We're going to get a little view as we continue here, but I wanted to show you this. Jordan and I, we are getting into the Halloween spirit over here, so I made Jordan dress up as avocado toast. You're an avocado, I'm toast. Together, we're a delicious breakfast treat. All right, but let's take you a little more here. As you get a good view, you've got the graveyards, of course, a lot of the corn stalks. Now, it takes about roughly 4 to 5 days to put all of this together. And not only is it the yard that is decked out, but it's also the house, too. Kind of as we move a little bit through the graveyard, you'll be able to see the house kind of all decked out as well. So let's get you into that forecast because we've got some showers and some thunderstorms to talk about as we hold on to a gustier wind. Temperatures right now are sitting in the 70s, a little cooler, I should say, as you get off to the west of us. We've got cloudy skies overhead, and we'll continue to see some showers and thunderstorms, mainly to the northwest of us. We had a few scattered showers ahead earlier today, and a couple of rumbles of thunder as well, but the main shower and storm activity will begin to move in as we look later on into this evening, and that will be as a cold front comes through. That front extending a little further back off to the west, out towards the central plains and moving into the upper Midwest. You can tell just by looking at temperatures where that cold front sits, where we're in the 70s and 80s. Out ahead of that, you've got the 40s and 50s there down to the west. So with that cold front coming through, while it is coming through during the overnight, we may still have a risk for some strong winds, or at least locally strong winds, as that cold front comes in, only because we've got some very strong winds aloft. So let's time this out on future casts. We'll continue to see some of those showers and thunderstorms there, primarily up to the northwest of us, but as we get closer to that 8-9 o'clock hour, that line will begin to press closer to the Mississippi River. As it does, we'll see those thunderstorms move as we get closer to 11, 12, 1 o'clock, and it's during that time that we could have a strong wind gust or two. So we do have to keep that in mind as we go through the night. The overall severe risk for us is relatively low, but nonetheless, some stronger winds aloft could work down towards the surface. Now, temperatures tomorrow will start off in the 60s, but they'll drop rather quickly once we do head into tomorrow afternoon into the 50s and the 40s, and the wind will pick up as well. Notice we have winds gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour here for tonight, 45 mile per hour wind gusts going into tomorrow, and those winds will stay strong through tomorrow evening. So the jackets will be needed there for the trick-or-treaters. Temperatures will be in the 50s during the mid-afternoon, 54 on Friday as we clear things out, and then we'll see return of some rain, Wendell, as we go into next week.
Candace, thank you, or should I say, toast and avocado. Scott's up next with sports. The Dodgers will again try to clinch the World Series championship tonight, but We'll learn why the Yankees might have the edge in this one. And the latest on the World Series incident that landed 2 fans in big trouble.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The Yankees lived to play ball another day when they won Game 4 of the World Series last night over the Dodgers. All that did, though, was leave them with another must-win game tonight. And Game 5 isn't going to happen at Yankee Stadium again. The Yankees had their ace Garrett Cole ready to go. He was outstanding in Game 1 of this series. The Dodgers will go with Jack Flaherty. They're going to have it again on Fox 39. Last night, the Yankees got a load off their shoulders by crushing the Dodgers 11-4. Brett Boone's guys now have some momentum and new hope that their bats have come to life. But their challenge of winning this series is still massive.
You know, we're trying to get one. You know, and trying to get the game, trying to get it to tomorrow. You don't even get ahead of yourself and start thinking about the series. It's like our guys were ready to play.
2 Yankees fans will not be allowed into the game tonight. Did you see what they did last night when Dodgers right fielder Mookie Betts made a catch in foul territory? 2 fans made life difficult for him. One actually grabbed Betts' bare wrist while the other fan ripped the baseball out of Betts' glove. The fans argued that since the ball was in foul territory and over the wall, that it was fair game. But the Yankees ruled that those fans crossed the line when they risked injuring Betts, so the fans have been banned from tonight's game. The White Sox have settled on a new manager. According to multiple reports, they're going with Texas Rangers associate manager Will Venable. He's a former Major League outfielder. Venable has also been part of coaching staffs with the Cubs and Red Sox. The White Sox can't make an official announcement on this until after the World Series ends. Lonzo Ball's out of commission again for the Bulls, this time with a sprained wrist. He'll be out at least 10 days. The Bulls host the Magic tonight. The Bears have had 3 days to shake off what happened in Washington last Sunday. They could let that ending drag them down, or they could pick themselves up and resolve to do better. Caleb Williams and DJ Moore seem to have recovered from that collapse.
Putting everything on a Hail Mary and, everything's exploding on the outside. We have to control what we control, what, everything in interior in here. And we got to focus on going out here and winning this game.
Let's just go on to the next one. We're not below 500. The sky isn't falling. So, on to the next opponent. That's the Cardinals, and we got to just figure out a way to be 1-0 this week.
At Sports, we'll be right back.
Well, we've got a little more cloud cover out there tonight and some showers and thunderstorms to the northwest, moving into southwest and southern Wisconsin. Shower and storm coverage will increase late tonight, and there is that risk for a strong storm or two, especially as we near the midnight, 1-2 o'clock time frame, primarily with those stronger winds. Now, cold front will come through as we head into tomorrow morning, but some additional showers will be possible about mid-morning to late morning, drying out but cooling off tomorrow. Temperatures are in the 50s with a little more rain going into next week.
Thank you, Candace, and thank you for watching. We'll see you at 6.